Good morning, everyone. It is 5 a.m. Part of the cold front that brought severe weather to parts of the country yesterday is weakening and pushing through our area later today. It's a thin line of showers and storms, but it is expected to bring us some rain for the late morning hours. So for the first alert for to go forecast, it'll be handy to keep some rain gear with us. Temperatures generally in the 50s to 60s this morning. More details coming up.
Right now on Sunrise, following Leon County Commissioner John Daly announcing this week he's running for Tallahassee mayor. Now 2 candidates filed to run for his District 3 seat.
And remembering Adam Taylor this morning, we're sharing new details on how family and friends will pay their respects to the local firefighter who died unexpectedly.
And Tallahassee Police Department responding to a shooting that has one clinging for life. I'm Jada Williams live, and we'll have the latest coming up.
Live from the WTXL studios, this is ABC 27 Sunrise.
We begin with breaking news overnight. Tallahassee police on scene of a shooting with the suspect still on the loose right now.
Our Jada Williams is live in Tallahassee on Apache Street where this happened. And Jada, what do you know at this hour?
Details are limited right now, but I do know that one person was shot and taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, and that all happened on Apache Street in Tallahassee. This happened around 11 o'clock last night. Police officers were called to Apache Street and Harwood Street, the intersection, last night. And now TPD's Violent Crimes Unit is investigating. They say that anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 850-891-4200. And right here in the neighborhood, things are still and calm. There's no one out right now, but everything has been wrapped up as far as the investigations out here, but the Violent Crimes Unit is still investigating internally, and we'll continue to provide updates as they become available. Stick with us on air and online. Live in Tallahassee, Jada Williams, WTXL, ABC 27.
New details this morning into an ongoing investigation with a Leon County deputy, use of force in Monday's shooting in Tallahassee. Officials have released the names of the persons involved and say Deputy Stephen O'Connor tried to pull over 26-year-old Garrett Peterson on Pool Headley Road. Deputies say Peterson eventually stopped on Manor House Drive, put his car in reverse, and backed into the deputy's motorcycle with him on it. Deputy O'Connor then shot at Peterson's vehicle, hitting him. Peterson was taken to the hospital. The deputy was not hurt. He is facing charges including aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer and fleeing and eluding law enforcement.
5:03 now to an update on the search for these two. They were connected to that drive-by shooting in Thomasville. Police arrested them across state lines here in Florida. Jerobi Jackson and Desmond Swain were arrested yesterday at a relative's home in Green Cove Springs, Florida. That's just south of Jacksonville. You'll remember that shooting happened last Wednesday at the corner of Fern and Wright Streets. Witnesses say a green Chevy Impala drove by as someone shot a shotgun out of the window. Jackson's girlfriend, Dejanay Thompson, here she is. She was also arrested after police say she drove the 2 men to Florida. Investigators believe the shooting was in retaliation. We're told the intended victim was not hurt.
Well, at least 2 people have announced they're running to fill the District 3 seat on the Leon County Commission. This comes the same week Leon County Commissioner John Daly filed to run for Tallahassee mayor. The first person to do so is Emily Fritz. Tuesday morning, she started filing to run for the District 3 seat on the county commission. She had been running for seat 5 on the city's commission, currently held by Gil Ziffer. She said a district seat would get her closer to her constituents. And when Daly announced he was redesignating this campaign, she did too.
I'm interested in serving the community. Had I stayed in the city commission race, I would have been happy to serve on the city commission. I'm happy to serve on the county commission. Both commissions have a lot of work to do and things that I could serve either way.
Later in the day, Rick Minor redesignated his campaign to run for the county seat as well. He had been running for the city commission seat currently held by Nancy Miller.
5:04, students at Florida State University had the chance to speak directly with gubernatorial candidate Philip Levine yesterday. He was at FSU kicking off his campus conversations tour.
Florida has been outpacing the rest of the country within economic growth for the past number of years, and so I want to know what he wants to do, how he wants to keep that going, but also make the investments into renewable energy and other sustainable ways of development.
Other topics included protecting deferred action for childhood arrivals or DACA students to controlling gun use both in school and on the streets. Levine says one of his greatest priorities is funding education.
When you're ranked 45th in the country, when your teachers make $10,000 less than the national average, that's not great education. We need to invest if we want these great companies to come to Florida so we have better, higher paying jobs.
Levine is among 5 other candidates running to become Florida's next governor. And this sobering moment as officials in Decatur County escorted the body of fallen firefighter Adam Taylor to a funeral home yesterday. Taylor, a firefighter and EMT in Decatur County, died unexpectedly on Saturday. The day before, that Friday, he told co-workers he wasn't feeling well and went home early. Less than an hour later, crews were called to his home. Results from an autopsy have not been released. The 30-year-old leaves behind a wife and 2 children. And this morning, we do know funeral arrangements have been set. 2 visitations are scheduled today. The first from 11 a.m. until 1 at Cobb Funeral Home, that's in Moultrie. The second from 6 until 7:30 at the Ivy Funeral Home in Bainbridge. Funeral services start 11 tomorrow morning at the Calvary Baptist Church, also in Bainbridge.
In Valdosta, prosecutors in the Austin Stevens murder trial wrapped up the first day of testimony on Tuesday with an emotional moment from the victim's mother. Prosecutors say Austin Stevens killed 20-year-old Jalen Jackson in 2016. They say he did it because Stevens was tired of Jackson, quote, flaunting all of his money. But Jackson's mother says all of that money was just for college expenses. His mother told the court about the chilling moment she realized her son was dead.
When I went to the back door, I had my boss man to call the police because I could actually smell Jalen from the door. So I knew what was in there before they even took the door down.
Two of Jackson's accomplices are expected to testify against him later this week.
Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop.
I've been to the mountaintop. Oh, that famous speech by Dr. Martin Luther King, April 3rd, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. In that speech over concerns on the Memphis sanitation strike, King calls for unity, economic actions, boycotts, and nonviolent protests. At the end, he even discussed the possibility of an untimely death. Little did anyone know that speech would be his last. And Dr. King was shot and killed the very next day outside of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. Today marks 50 years since his death.
Last night in downtown Memphis, many people gathered to honor Dr. King's legacy and his mountaintop speech. Those who attended said it was a historic event.
Watching the MLK Mountaintop Speech commemoration, Michelle, Carla, Keith, and David, sanitation workers from Cincinnati.
Why they was treating us like that? Like, you know, I mean, it's a different culture, and I'm glad he fought for us, and that's why we're here.
And I think everybody should experience. To know where you're going, you have to know where you come from.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to be here and see this and take it all in.
Remembering MLK's famous speech with powerful speeches of their own, AFSCME President Lee Saunders, Ambassador Andrew Young, former President Barack Obama in a video tribute, and MLK's children, Bernice and Martin.
You know, Dad taught us, and I'm about to close, apologize for my lengthiness, that it only takes a few good women and men to bring about change. But I know our God didn't bring us this far to leave us. That we must do something to protect the lives of the next generation, not just in terms of guns, but in terms of the social decay.
An inspiring evening that hopefully will lead to inspiring a future generation.
I hope we can all do better. I hope we can, it takes a little bit of everybody to do some self-evaluation, and we all can do a part. So yes, I hope we can get it better.
And now I wish I'd brought my kids and my grandkids. And the next time I come, I will be.
And coming up later for you this morning, our Jada Williams continues our coverage of Dr. King's life and legacy. She shares one story on his connection to the Big Bend. That story in the next 30 minutes. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. I am telling you, it feels stuffy outside with the humidity on the rise ahead of a cold front. Temperatures generally in the 60s to near 70 degrees. It's Bainbridge at 70, Marion at 70 as well. 71 in Apalachicola, 69 in Tallahassee. For the next 5 hours, we've got clouds with an increasing threat of rainfall after sunrise. Isolated showers at first. They may appear to be a little more widespread, but they may actually move in a little earlier than what we're showing you here. It all depends on the behavior of the actual front and the line associated with the showers ahead of it. Here it is right now. Scattered showers, some heavier downpours with lightning, I should say, embedded along this disorganized line that stretches from just north of Dothan into parts of the panhandle of Florida. We'll keep a closer eye on the progression of this system through the morning with another update coming up in just a few minutes.
In your first alert traffic, we are taking a look at construction in Gadsden County on I-10 westbound near mile marker 179. That's in Quincy. We are being told that the left westbound lane is closed for construction. So just keep that in mind. You may want to give yourself a few extra minutes. Also, there is a disabled vehicle with a roadblock in Leon County. This is on Old St. Augustine Road and Williams Road in Tallahassee. And that'll do it for your check of traffic for right now.
All right, coming up for you this morning, new developments in the FBI's Russia investigation. Details on the first person sentenced to jail and how long he's expected to stay.
Once you're up, you need to know. You need to know what's happening right now.
You need the latest breaking news. You need today's news, not last night's.
That's why you need WTXL Sunrise. Less talk, more news. With more live reports every hour.
More local coverage in your neighborhood.
More ways to stay connected so you always know how the news will impact you and your family.
WTXL Sunrise, your need to know news.